for those of you who don't already know, is a national call to arms of a breed of people simply referred to as a Nebraska fan. Well, you can count me as one of them. These are the confessions of a Nebraska Cornhusker fan. If you know me, you know I'm definitely a die-hard Nebraska fan, and it probably borders on obsession. I was born in Nebraska, and I don't think there's a single person in my family who isn't a Nebraska fan to some degree. Short of actually going to my dresser and counting all of them, take way too much time. I have around 50 Nebraska shirts. I also have 2 hats, 3 sweatshirts, 2 blankets, coats, several books, 1,000-piece puzzle Memorial Stadium, Nebraska football, and a video of the 1995 Fiesta Bowl against Florida. What I'm wearing now is basically what I wear just about every day. In addition, my YouTube channel name is Husker Ninja. So is my Twitter handle. I follow all the university's main sports teams on Twitter, Facebook, or both, and I received complaints in the past because during Nebraska games, I'll be on the university's Twitter account, favoriting and retweeting almost every tweet about the game. I also have a habit of not letting anything get in the way of a Nebraska game. For example, this year my school's homecoming dance started at the same time as the Michigan State-Nebraska game. I had originally planned on not going to the dance and just staying home to watch the game, but a couple of my friends told me that was not an option, so I went. Every couple minutes though, I had my mom text me updates on how they were this game. So yeah, you can definitely say I'm a big Nebraska fan. Part of what makes Nebraska so great are the fans. You may have heard that Nebraska fans are some of the best in college football. This is true. It's my completely unbiased opinion that Nebraska fans are the best fans in college football, not just one of the best. For one thing, there's Nebraska's sellout streak, dating all the way back to 1962. That's 57 years and 340 home games. In fact, on days with home games, Memorial Stadium passes Bellevue as the 3rd largest city in Nebraska. You've got to have a lot of really passionate fans in order to sell out every home game for 57 years. And there's no end to the streak in sight. Granted, one could make the argument that there's nothing else to do in Nebraska except for but I'm sure that's not why. Nebraska fans are also known as some of the nicest in college football. Win or lose, after every game, the fans, at least those who stay for the whole game, stand and clap for both teams as they leave the field. In 1980, after his team upset Nebraska, Florida State coach Bobby Bowden wrote a letter to the Lincoln newspaper praising Nebraska fans, calling them the classiest fans he'd ever seen in 28 years of coaching. Then there's the matter of the Nebraska program itself. The Huskers have the 4th most wins of any college team, and they're one of only 11 teams to win more than 800 games. Over the past half century, Nebraska has the most wins and the best winning percentage. They have 46 conference championships, 5 national titles, and 3 Heisman Trophy winners, an award given out each year to the best player in college football. Well, my parents say we don't claim Eric Crouch because he was a whiner. ESPN ranked the 1971 and 1995 Nebraska teams as 2 of the 3 best college football teams of all time. Now, I'm not saying I think Nebraska is perfect and everyone else is just terrible. There are certainly problems with Nebraska. One of them is that stupid corn cob. It wasn't cool when the Green Bay Packers wore cheese on their heads, so we thought ripping them off by wearing corn on our heads was a good idea. Another problem is some Nebraska fans have unrealistic expectations. Of Nebraska's 46 conference titles, none of them have come in the last 15 years. Twice, Nebraska's fired coaches after 9-win seasons. The first is Frank Solich, and the second was Bo Pelini this past season. Personally, I think there's a reason Pelini was fired. Nebraska was always blown out anytime they played a good team, but I can also see why people may disagree with it, mainly because he won 9 games every year. A lot of people seem to think it's impossible to win very much at Nebraska, which is where the whole Nebraska fans have unrealistic expectations thing comes from. Our last national championship was 1997. That's 18 years ago. Those glory days in the 90s aren't coming back. In the end, while Nebraska is far from perfect and may not win every single game, I come to one conclusion. I can safely say that to over 90,000 people, myself included, there is no place like Nebraska.